As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. This is the opening line from Martin Scorsese's hit 1990 film Goodfellas. This film is based off the book Wise Guy by Nicholas Pileggi, which tells the story of famous American mobster Henry Hill. In this scene, Henry is describing his lifelong dream of becoming a gangster. As far back as I can remember, I had always wanted to be a gangster. To me, being a gangster was better than being president of the United States. Even before I first wandered to the cab stand for an after-school job, I knew I wanted to be a part of them. It was there that I knew I belonged. To me, it was being somebody in a neighborhood that was full of nobodies. They weren't like anybody else. I mean, they did whatever they wanted. They double parked in front of a hydrant and nobody ever gave them a ticket. In the summer, when they played cards all night, nobody ever called the cops. Tootie Cicero. Tootie. Tootie ran the cab stand at La Bella Vista Pizzeria and a few other places for his brother Paul, who was the boss over everybody in the neighborhood. Paulie might have moved slow, but it was only because he didn't have to move for anybody. At first, my parents loved that I found a job across the street. My father, who was Irish, was sent to work at the age of 11, and he liked that I got myself a job. He always said American kids were spoiled lazy. And my mother was happy after she found out that the Varios came from the same part of Sicily that she did. To my mother, it was the answer to her prayers. I was the luckiest kid in the world.
All ProStart students that are returning from Hammond High report to Ms. Williams' office now.
I was the luckiest kid in the world. I could go anywhere. I could do anything. I knew everybody and everybody knew me. But it wasn't too long before my parents changed their minds. For them, the cab stand was supposed to be a part-time job, but for me, it was full-time. People like my father could never understand, but I was a part of something. I belonged. I was treated like a grown-up. Every day, I was learning to score. My father was always pissed off. He was pissed that he had to work so hard. He was pissed that he made such lousy money. He was pissed that there were 7 of us living in a tiny house. But after a while, he was mostly pissed that I hung around the cab stand. He said that they were bums and I was a bum. He said that I was going to get into trouble. I used to say I was only running errands after school, but he knew better. He knew what went on at the cab stand, and every once in a while, usually after he got his load on, I had to take a beating. But by then, I didn't care. No matter how many beatings I took, I wouldn't listen to what he said. I don't ever think I hurt him. The way I saw it, everybody has to take a beating sometimes.